unmute.
And then let me see the chat there.
Yes, it's right there. Uh-oh.
So,
Anytime.
No.
Jesus.
No, it's closed. Nope. Maybe she's just using the... Yeah. Okay, so let's check I'm just gonna check the settings here, Graham.
Yep, I'll be right back.
Make sure it's going. Okay, cool. Wiki Bobby's here. Hello, Wiki Bobby. He is the first one in the chat. Very cool. Untie is here. He says, I made it. And he's got his popcorn. Amanda Childers is here. Yo, guys. Great show tonight, says the comic book man. Thank you, guys. Brian's watching. Greetings and salutations. Bone Jangler's here. Hey, guys. Hey, Groovy Ghoulies. All right. Well, we're going to start the Hairy Scary Hangover very soon. Grim is just helping out Mama Monkey. And then we're going to get started. So, there's some notes here, some things. We're going to...
Okay, I think we're good.
Keep it a little bit shorter than last time. Because we have to get up kind of early.
Yes.
But, okay, let's see. Good movie and sound effects, says Amanda. Great show, says Tay.
Yeah, always fun. You know,
thank you.
We love putting the shows together. I mean, sometimes they're last minute things, but we put our heart and soul into it. We give our 100% or whatever we have to give to it. So, and it's all to entertainment because we love hanging out with you guys too. Mm-hmm. It's a mutual thing.
And Elaine's here. Rog is here. Right. Okay, very cool. Travis Brown. So yeah, let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome to another fun, exciting episode of The Mummy and the Monkey's
Hairy Scary Hangover. Our after show chat show, don't you know? And we host on most Friday nights the Hairy Scary Hangout. It's a live streaming program where we host a movie. We play comedy skits, we read fan mail, it's interactive. And tonight's movie was The Time Machine for episode 271. If anybody missed it, they could go back and catch it under the live tab on our channel.
And let us clarify that it was a 1978 made-for-television movie. It's not the 1960s classic, nor the Guy Pearce movie from the 2000s or whenever.
No, there's been many different movie adaptations. Yes.
But this one was a cheesy, low-budget, but very fun 1978 giant collared version of The Time Machine.
I thought it was a fun movie.
I loved it. Yeah. I remember watching this on television, as a wee ape, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I'm a child of the 70s and 80s, so growing up and seeing the after-school specials, and y'all remember those, right, from back in the day, and any kind of made-for-TV movies, and they still make made-for-TV stuff, but... and then remember, like, in the 80s and 90s, the big made-for-TV stuff were the serials or the what do they call those things? The miniseries.
Oh yes, miniseries.
Those were really popular in the 80s and 90s. Like Shogun was a big one. Mm-hmm. V, the science fiction show.
Roots.
V. Roots was another.
That was like a miniseries.
Huge miniseries.
That was a good one.
Which were made made specifically for television. They weren't released at the movies and all that kind of stuff. So that was a big thing because television, especially back then, up until recently, was big for advertisers, and they would put together some decent entertainment, I thought, to get people's attention and to sit down and, in between these really interesting and whether they're based on fact or science fiction or fantasy, they would be able to sell you products in between it.
And Wiki Bobby wrote to us saying that this is actually his favorite TV movie, The Time Machine. Yeah. So he was happy that we played it because it was his favorite.
Yeah, when I found the videotape of this in the thrift store, brought back great memories. I was stoked to find that. So it was really fun to see something because it may even be on YouTube somewhere, but I wouldn't even think to look for it if I hadn't seen this pop up randomly in the wild. So it was great. And so now here it is on our show. And it's kind of Salem's Lot. Okay, this is getting kind of close to what we're going to talk about tonight, which is cool. Salem's Lot was another huge miniseries.
So we're going to talk about a horror film that we've seen recently. And yeah, Salem's Lot has...
Well, it has connection to this because the vampire in Salem's Lot was very reminiscent of Nosferatu vampire from the silent movie from the early 1920s, I should say. And tonight we're going to talk about the reboot, or not a reboot, but a reimagining.
It's the Universal Pictures version
of Nosferatu.
That came out around Christmas time
of last year, 2024.
Yes, and we saw it on video
Yes.
just like last week.
We were patient. We didn't go see it at the movie theaters, and we waited till the library had it for borrowing.
Yes, we love our public libraries.
We even went out for the Blu-ray. We didn't accept the regular Ray.
No, we wanted to get the Blu-ray version.
DVD. No, it wasn't going to be good enough, so we had to get the Blu-ray version. And
it was
now this movie. But not before we talk about it. I mean, I heard a lot of stuff about this movie. Some good and some bad. It's like one of these movies.
A lot of mixed reviews.
Yes.
Like some people really loved it, some people really didn't like it. Some people were sort of like meh. So
yeah, it stars Bill Skarsgård, who portrayed the remake of the new Stephen King's It in the newer It movies.
Oh yes, that's right.
And a bunch of other stuff Bill's been involved with, but a great character actor. He played the Nosferatu vampire, and so we heard a lot of mixed reviews on it. But I always like to see things for myself. I don't have to hear I take people's opinion in consideration. But if it's something I'm interested in, I'm going to watch it.
We wanted to watch it, so we watched it. And first impressions, the set design, the costumes, it just has that beautiful like goth look. I just think it just looked really cool with that.
I thought the casting was on point.
Casting was pretty good, yeah.
All of the I guess they built that whole town, like the whole village that was actually built for this movie. Yes, and that's Johnny Depp's little girl.
Johnny Depp's daughter.
Lily Depp did kill it. I mean, I thought she looked like someone from the time. She did a great
job. And and I like, that's another thing too. The actors and actresses in this film, in Nosferatu.
Yeah, Kick-Ass was in it.
It was very, it takes place in 1838, so obviously the women aren't going to be all made up.
With the lip injections and all that, collagen.
So the ladies in the movie looked very natural. They looked true to that time period. And the dresses looked great. Stuff like that. Was beautiful. The costuming was just beautiful.
Now, one of the things I remember before we saw this that people were they seemed to hyper-focus on, was the Nosferatu vampire design in this movie, that he had a mustache. And
I have mixed feelings on what Nosferatu himself looked like.
I was pleasantly surprised that they didn't try to redo the Max Schreck thing, because that's a one and done to me. That Max, you can't.
No one can top Max Schreck. No one can top the original Nosferatu.
To this day, that I guarantee. Okay, so you're an adult. That's not scary. I bet if you showed the 1922 Nosferatu movie to a kid during any decade, it'll scare the crap out of him.
He's creepy looking.
That is not good stuff.
And the actor Max Schreck was creepy in real life too.
Yeah, that dude was weird.
He really thought he was a vampire.
And he stayed in character the whole time. Very strange guy.
Very extreme method acting.
They did try to recreate this movie. They redid the movie Nosferatu with Klaus Kinski, and they tried to make Klaus Kinski played Nosferatu.
Yes.
And they gave him the pointy ears, the teeth,
It wasn't that good.
If you're going to do it, get that Nostalgia Feratu guy from the Svengoolie show.
Yeah, we like Nostalgia Feratu.
He'd be funny to pop up in a movie. But anyway. But instead of recreating that again, they, from the, that remake they did with the Kinski guy, they said, let's design this guy to look more like, as you said, Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, he gave off Vlad the Impaler vibes. Yeah. Because he had, the bushy mustache. He was wearing the big fur hat,
he was a
someone
nobleman.
In Eastern Europe would wear. The big coat with the fur and everything.
He was a nobleman, so, they had, he had the facial hair. That was all kind of
and the boots with the fur.
And the boots with the,
Sorry.
apple-bottom jeans and the boots with the fur.
He didn't have those jeans on, no.
Well, you couldn't see that. He might have been wearing apple-bottom jeans. I don't know.
Maybe.
But at the end, when you see his butt and everything...
Obscure music reference.
He had a bony bottom. Anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's get serious.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
I'm just trying to pull up the thing here to read comments.
I will have to say, before we get into the whole meat of the movie, that... it's definitely, after we watched it, to me, it was one of those movies that it took a while to gel. Mm-hmm. And I had so many different revelations and questions and ideas and, and not even knowing if they meant to do this, But
yes,
even if they did, if you can write a movie that has that sort of like twist to it that people think about it and wonder, and I bet if I go back and I ask them these questions or do some research, I might find that I'm correct about why they did what they did and certain things. Like the beginning of the movie starts out with Lily Depp having some sort of like encounter. Like an astral with an astrally, not even a physical encounter with Orlok.
Yes, but she doesn't know who he is at first.
I mean, she reaches out, and later on, and that's what was great about this movie. It's going to be all spoilers tonight, so if you haven't seen it, turn this off. But there's Vlad or Orlok in the beginning says to her, when he starts coming back to her, he basically says that you are different. You're not. You're not from this earth. Or you're not. You're. That's amazing that they said, okay, if we're establishing there's this vampire on the planet Earth at the time, there's got to be other supernatural beings, whether they're psychics or empaths or succubuses, whatever.
So she
could have been something like that.
She
right?
was more, I guess, open to this supernatural stuff.
Oh, and William Dafoe's also in this movie. The great actor William Dafoe.
He plays a professor.
Yes, he's like the Van Helsing sort of.
Yeah, he's like trying to help her and trying to figure things out.
And he even says something to her about that.
Yeah, he said like something like how that she was different. Yeah.
So she and then I started thinking about how they did this, and they did it without saying it. But this is my read into it, is that beginning, that right at the beginning of the movie, that encounter where she let the vampire in, right? That old legend. The only way a vampire can enter your house or your life is if you invite them in. She did that in the beginning of the movie. She invited
this being,
and several years passed after that sort of encounter.
And they kind of had a supernatural relationship.
He's like, you know what?
But she didn't know who he really was.
A few years passed by, but baby, I'm still here. And he came looking for her.
And he was still seeking out
for her.
Yes.
That's how I read into it. I'm like, see, and I like movies. They don't outright say that in the movie, but
later on, it's kind of letting things, you can figure it out. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I love stuff when it's written like that, especially if it was meant to be written, and the guy and the director or the writers going back to going, see, that's what I was talking. That's what I want people to figure out. I don't need to tell them everything.
Well, and they didn't even call him a vampire. They were like saying it was a demon, that maybe she was possessed.
Yes. Because
she kept having these hallucinations, these dreams, and then like acting out kind of violently.
Other people, and remember, there's that that she accused the friend that was played by the kick-ass actor. I forget his name. She's like, "You never liked me." Remember, she was like, she basically told that dude, "You never liked me as a person." Oh. He always thought she was weird,
Yeah, and she was staying at his house, at her friend's house, and like he was kind of weird with her the whole time, but she kept getting weirder too, so it probably freaked him out. Like, what the heck's up with this chick? So, okay, Late Horror Show says, man, I wish I was there with you both to talk about this. But man, I really did not like William Dafoe in this movie either, and I love him as an actor. Sorry, I just hated this movie.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, it's like one of those movies that you either
I
love. I
totally get it. Yeah,
and I know what you're basing it mostly on the original movie, which is really hard to beat, and we get that.
Yeah,
we understood. That
I mean, maybe if they called it something else and didn't call it Nosferatu.
So it's like the Godzilla 1998 movie, where if it was another monster, it wouldn't. And not Godzilla with the Matthew Broderick.
Well,
Godzilla?
just call it something else, because he didn't really like act like the traditional Nosferatu.
But
I don't think so. Anyway.
I haven't read the Nosferatu was based on the.
It was really based on the Dracula book,
the Bram Stoker stuff. It was a different. It was their interpretation.
Yeah, and they did kind of give him like a Vlad the Impaler look.
And a lot of people didn't like.
And a lot of people didn't like that
elocution look. Of the voice with all rolling R's.
Oh, I didn't like that voice either. Oh. It was like a little too much.
Then you do it. I'm just kidding.
Because it was hard to understand him sometimes.
Well, he's from Transylvania.
I get it, but maybe they could have had just.
I've seen worse movies.
Turn it down a notch or something.
Come on, we do hosting this show. We've seen worse movies, so.
Yes, that's true.
But I'm not gonna say if it's but if look, there's a lot of movies.
Late Horror Show says they should have just called it Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
that's a good idea. They should have just called it something else, and then it would probably the fans of that original Nosferatu would probably be like, "Oh, okay, it's something else."
Yeah, there's no reason to call it Nosferatu. You're right.
Yeah, because there was no reason to call it that.
It's its own thing.
Right.
It could have been totally, Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah,
that's true, and I still would have liked it.
Yeah, I don't think it's like the coolest movie ever, but I thought it was enjoyable for what it was.
Of the more recent vampire movies, except for Blade movies.
And you have to remember, it's Universal, and Universal's newer horror films have sucked recently.
They've dropped the ball so many times.
They have made a lot of sucky movies recently.
I think this is the third attempt at a vampire movie.
Except for, what was it, Annabelle?
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the Universal Monster Universe, right?
No, but it was a Universal horror film.
Annabelle. Was it?
Was that Annabelle?
Oh, jeez, now you got me thinking.
The Vampire Girl. It came out like
the son of a vampire or the daughter of a vampire mobster.
Yeah, it came out like a couple years ago.
No, we have it on DVD.
What the heck is her name?
Annabelle's the ragdoll thing.
Yeah, Annabelle's the haunted doll.
Oh.
I think it was called something else. It was an A name.
It's a girl name, yeah.
A girl name.
Come on, Abigail.
Abigail. Okay,
that was fun, and that was a fun movie. It's not I'm not gonna say it was the best.
Abigail. See, that makes me think of King Diamond.
Abigail. It had a great, but it was that movie was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was definitely for me a good popcorn horror movie.
Yeah. I liked Abigail a lot. I actually like Abigail more than this new Nosferatu movie.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It was way better. Now, I'm not hating on the new Nosferatu movie. I think it was okay enough where I was able to watch it, and I thought the costuming and stuff was cool. But
yes, but does that
Abigail
make a movie
was way better.
But that doesn't make a good movie.
No,
I think
Abigail had a much better story.
For some people, and I'm not saying lately a horror show, Dino. I don't think he falls in this category. But because he has a very more refined taste and understands all this stuff.
Yes.
But I think a lot of people that are used to Abigail type movies, Nosferatu doesn't have the jump scares. It doesn't have the creature crawling on the ceiling or on the side of the walls. It doesn't have any of that garbage.
No. So
it's would they like it?
It's
some
horror
kind of a slow
films
burn.
that just like the slashers or the blood and guts. It's not that kind of movie.
No,
it is like a slow build up.
They call that a slow burn.
Or slow burn.
It's very atmospheric, and it's supposed to take time to. It's not this. I know what you did last summer kind of thing where everything's jumping around, and again, like I said, every damn movie with someone. The thing has to crawl on the ceiling. Ever since Alien did that, everyone does that. In the Marilyn Manson video, the crack, bending in half and then popping, and everybody with that. It's just, but people expect that in movies, and if they don't see it, they go, "This sucks."
They need stuff to happen all the time.
It's fine in the first 100 movies they did it, but I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I would give me.
It's nice
something
to see something
atmospheric,
something with a story,
to
something
cleanse the palate.
That's done in a creative way.
I thought,
Yeah.
So.
I get it.
It wasn't the worst movie I've seen, Nosferatu.
No, compared to...
It wasn't the greatest movie I've seen.
It wasn't The Mummy. It wasn't that... What was his name?
You talking about the new Mummy movie?
Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise?
Brad Pitt.
Oh, it was Tom Cruise.
Tom
Cruise, The Mummy. It wasn't that crappy.
It took me 2 seconds to figure out that he was going to be the Mummy. I'm like, oh, here's a Tom Cruise movie and here's a woman mummy. How does that work? No, he's got to be... And at the end, he becomes the Mummy, of course.
I hated that movie so much.
Horrible movie.
Hated it.
It wasn't. She was an alien. It was all kind of
so dumb. Okay, I'm trying to pull up chats here. Come on.
James Muscarella's The Puppet Master movies had the scariest puppets. I agree. The Puppet Master movies are so much fun. That's Full Moon Entertainment.
Bloodpack Film says he hated the movie Abigail.
Really? Well, I could see why though. I mean, I understand, but. The reason I think I liked it because they did that. They took this could have easily been done in a hotel, but they did it in a haunted house. I'm like, why are they doing it in a? It's kind of interesting, It was very again. I call it pop. I put it in the popcorn sort of category. It's not like It's not like one of my favorite movies of all time.
And Mofei Chen says the Universal guys need to go back and do their homework.
They need to do the movies in black and white.
And just have like a decent story and some interesting characters, and film it all in black and white. That would be freaking cool.
Yeah, but who beat them to it was that the Marvel Werewolf by Night. I
want to see more Werewolf by Night
with the man thing and everything.
Yeah, that was way cool. That came out a couple of years ago.
They did it was a Halloween special a few years ago.
I want to see more of that.
I mean,
more stuff like that, please.
Yeah, no CGI, says Sears James. Or AI. Well, that would be nice. Get practical.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it practical. Wolfman. People said Wolfman.
That last Wolfman looked bad. I don't think it was a Universal movie. I think it was a different studio.
Yeah.
That came out with a Wolfman movie. I think that was also like around. Was that Christmas time or winter time? Yeah, we haven't seen that one yet.
I don't even know what Dino's talking about there, but I gotta see this.
What did he say?
My favorite vampire movie of the year is called Humanist Vampires Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. Okay, I gotta. Where is that on? Like, Tubi or something? where am I?
That's weird. Yeah, I've never heard of that movie.
Or unless he's saying that the name for Nosferatu.
Oh.
I think that's another name for Nosferatu.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting it now. Yeah, don't make Jaws a vampire.
Werewolves was cool, says Victor. So is that the new werewolf
That
movie?
was that new one that...
so I guess he thought it was cool.
It was kind of a different sort of take on werewolves or something.
Yeah, we'll have to see that at some point.
Dino says it's on Amazon Prime. Okay, we'll have to look at... I guess it's
wow, I guess that's a real movie.
All right.
Huh. Comic Book Man says, Wolfman was actually pretty decent. It was no masterpiece, but it wasn't bad either.
I still like Sling Blade. What's that?
Captain Billy says, Humanist Vamp movie is real, supposed to be good.
Oh, they should do Wesley Snipes should come back and do Sling Blade. He could be like,
oh boy.
I gotta kill that vampire. I reckon, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh jeez.
All right then. That'd be great.
I don't know.
Whistler could be in it. No, he's dead. That's
Travis
right.
Brown says Megan was great. I don't think it was that bad, but I don't think
it wasn't great. But
was that good either.
In my opinion, I
thought it was okay.
The problem with the Megan thing is that
it was too predictable.
The formula, yeah, they show
way
the robot.
Too predictable.
So, and I know it's a goofy movie, and it's not supposed to be serious and everything.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The whole idea of the Megan, I know that this robot's going to cost $10,000 for that robot.
That's cheap.
That's a steal. But okay, I mean, talking about there would be no way the cost, because I am involved with the toy industry in a way, and I know that this thing would be $10,000. Okay, it's just like there would be it would be a $2 million toy. I don't care what it's shaped like or what it is. Way too cheap.
No, the numbers is irrelevant.
Doesn't matter.
We're talking about the story
yeah.
and what the movie was like, and the movie was very predictable.
And they show this robot that's in this girl's room. I built that robot when I was 10 years old for my, that's the robot that's gonna kill Megan at the end, right? And then boom, and that's what happened.
Yeah,
it was very predictable. Why would they show you this robot, that this girl built when she was in college? You're like, well, that robot's gonna come back and kill Megan because it's off the grid, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's what they did. It was very predictable. But it wasn't bad, but it was like...
It was like a popcorn kind of movie. Yeah. Whatever, and I'll just watch it for what it is.
And why did it have to get on all fours and run like a... Again, it's just this... Oh, that's scary. It's not scary. It's goofy. But okay, that's my opinion.
Justin Jallo's joining us. Yeah. Hey there, Justin. Thank you for tuning in.
I want the next director that makes their monster run on the ceiling or run on the side of the walls after the person. I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna spank them.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Stop that. It's already been done 1,000 times.
A lot of movies rip off of other
Think of something
movies.
new, gosh darn it.
But they do the same tropes, the same stuff.
Yeah. Because that's what and sometimes it's not their fault, Sometimes these studios, the producers say, we want to get our money back that we put in this movie, so this is what worked for these other movies, so you do it in your movie.
We're just going to recycle it.
Yep. Unless you're like Spike Lee, unless you're, George Lucas, unless you're Steven Spielberg or this one or that, you can't do your own thing. The studios.
Scott Free says 90% of all horror movies are crap, but we keep watching to find the other 10%.
Yes, that's the fun part.
Yes. And then here's a wonderful quote that someone told me. Horror films are like a pizza. Even when they're bad, they're still all right.
Yeah, you have to choke
So
them down.
even bad pizza is still okay. Yeah. That was their opinion.
But I want to see the new Megan movies, if that makes any difference. It's almost like the Bad Seed. That movie, too. The original Bad Seed movie. Mm-hmm. And then I know they redid it with Macaulay Culkin or whatever. And there was a bunch of, bad kid movies and stuff. But the original Bad Seed from the, late 50s, or was it? Or the early 60s? That movie was good, and they actually pulled the punch at the end. I was like, you guys.
I don't remember if I watched that one. I know of it.
We'll have to watch it. You tell me.
I'll
what
have
you
to
think.
watch it, and then I'll know for sure if
Yeah.
I've seen it or not.
Weird movie.
Because then I might be like, oh yeah, I remember this.
It's hardcore,
Yeah.
and then, and then an alien comes out on the ceiling now.
Or her head spins around, or
What's this? I tried to.
pea soup. She throws up the pea soup.
Still, my favorite horror movie is still The Exorcist, the original. It's just because of the way it's filmed, and the atmosphere. It's the
Jennifer
weirdest thing.
Delaney says, "Hey Janet, besides Jaws, what's your other favorite shark movie?
What other ones are there?
What other
Jabberjaw?
ones are there?
Is there a Jabberjaw special?
Sharknado?
Sharknado's great.
Probably Sharknado.
Talk about a movie that knows what it is.
Yeah, I don't know of many other shark movies.
They made 4 of those.
Is there a baby shark movie?
Oh, I hope not.
Baby shark? Do.
Sharkferatu.
Sharkferatu?
They just need to make it.
A shark vampire.
They've made all kinds of stuff like that.
Hey, why the hell not?
Sharkagator.
Sharktopus.
Yeah.
All those weird Sci-Fi Channel.
Gator.
Yeah, Sci-Fi Channel used to make a ton of those. They used to put out a lot of those cheesy movies.
Now they need to do they take it a step further and like combine the monster, like do a mashup like Sharktopusy. Like, but have like, a secret agent like James Bond, and there's.
But he's a shark.
No, but there's a
like
woman
he's a 007 agent, but he's like half shark, half
James
human.
Bond, the James Bond thing, he'll like do anything. So maybe it's a bestiality thing where
oh my goodness.
Instead of Sharktopusy being a woman, it's a.
Okay, Grim, you're going into a weird area.
But
here.
I'm offering you something different here. You ain't seen that.
No, we haven't seen
Anywho.
that. Anyway, I don't know if I want to see that.
Oh, people.
Oh boy.
There's some people thinking about it.
I guess Sharknado. Yeah.
Although I don't know that you want to do anything with Sharktopus.
And then wasn't there after Jaws came out, there was like the piranha, there were a bunch of kind of off movies.
I'm sure there was a Barracuda movie, and then there were piranha movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then when the shark lost his teeth, they had gums.
What?
Yeah.
Jaws the geriatric years.
Orca. I have.
He's got dentures.
Yeah, I bought Orca off online, and I haven't watched it yet, but I want to see that again. That's a killer whale movie they made.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so killer fish and sea creatures.
Yeah, I'm dying to see. I remember
Orca's awesome, says Justin.
They had the best artwork for it. It was like a picture of a orca going through someone's little wooden boat. And it was on the back of every comic book when that movie came out. I remember staring at that artwork. I've seen it as a kid, but it's been decades. So yeah, I need to watch it
Justin
again.
says, my family and I are going to Jaws on the Water screening tomorrow night at a local water park.
That's fun.
Ooh. So they're in a pool in floaties watching it?
I go back far enough.
Oh, how fun.
I go back far enough to when you saw Jaws, because that came out in 1975. Even if you saw it a few years later, you didn't want to go in the bath. Even in the bathtub, you were afraid to go.
Well, wasn't there was a horror film called Slugs?
Yes.
And I remember there was a scene where she's in the bathtub and all these gross slugs came out of the faucet. There were several horror films where weird stuff came out of the frost.
Slugs, bugs.
So, you always think, I don't know. I always think of that.
The bugs one was where they look like, I think, potato bugs, or roly-polies, people call them.
Potato bugs.
And they were real big, but
There was a movie about potato bugs?
They would call bugs, and they would crawl on your hair and set your hair on. They could set you on fire.
What?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is this real?
Yes.
To look it up.
Bugs, it's called. Someone else knows what I'm talking about.
Grim drives me buggy.
Squirm is great. That's a good movie. I just watched that. Mystery Science Theater does an amazing. It's like the second to last movie that they showed on the series. Squirm. It's a really good movie. Actually, it's fun.
All right.
Oh, that's another one. It's a snake movie. It's where Reb Brown is in it from Space Mutiny, and he played Captain America on the TV show version of Captain America. But Reb Brown is in that movie. It's about people turning into snakes.
Leyland Horror Show says Slugs was made for TV. I don't think it was made for TV. I just remember.
Well, he would know.
Well, he added a question mark.
Oh, was it made for TV?
Slugs was made for TV? Question mark.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
TV? No, we're not.
It might have been on TV, on one of the cable stations, or I might have seen it on tape. But I remember watching that a long time ago. Yeah. So I don't think it was made for TV.
I don't know. I have to look that one up.
I mean, maybe. I'm not sure.
Slither is another good movie with what's his name from Michael from Evil or Walking Dead. He's in this movie called Slither, which I think James Gunn did a long time ago. One of James Gunn's earlier movies.
I don't think I've seen it.
I have it somewhere. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Cool. Let's see.
Michael Rooker. Yeah, sorry, from Henry.
And yeah, people are just like talking about movies now that they like.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're just rattling on about moves.
Oh yeah.
But Nosferatu, the newest one, it's not. I see
think
it for yourself.
In my opinion, I think it's definitely worth a watch. But get it from your library or something. Don't borrow it for free, and then if you really like it, then you could buy the DVD or something.
So speaking, Nathan Fillion's in that too. The guy, he's going to be playing Guy Gardner in the new Superman movie, which is a Green Lantern character. Speaking of Bill Skarsgård, or Sarsgaard, how you say his name, he was in a movie I just watched that came out, I think, a year before Nosferatu, or a year before. It's called Boy Kills World. Did anybody watch that movie? Did anyone ever see Boy Kills World?
Boy Kills World.
Boy Kills World. Very weird movie.
Is it like an action movie?
Oh.
Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Is it a horror film?
It's an action movie on steroids.
Is it like Kung Fu?
It is. It's almost like Fight Club in a way, to where it's like this sort of novel that's it's a really hyper action movie, but it's like a novelized version of it kind of Fight Club was sort of like it came off like you're reading a book as you're watching it.
I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen Fight Club.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know. I never had an interest in it.
Not a bad movie. Not my favorite. A lot of people like it. It's a cult film, but
I know a lot of people like it. I just never had any interest.
It didn't stick with me, Fight Club, but I did love the ending of it. I thought that was a very bizarre ending, which I loved about it. But no one's chiming in about Boy Kills World. Oh, someone said, Chaos Device said it ruled. This movie is so weird, and it's hyper violent. And what can I say? I mean, you kind of just got to see it. It kind of looks like a Shaw Brothers movie on steroids.
Where like a lot of stuff is going on.
It's got so many weird things going on.
I love the Shaw Brothers movies.
But the interesting thing is that Bill's character is a kid who was it was almost like the Hunger Games, where it was like kind of semi-futuristic, and they did a thing called a purge, or where they would, or it was called not called a purge, or something like that. But they would kill the culling, they would call it, and they would kill so many people. I guess just basically to keep the population a certain number, but also to get ratings for this TV show that they had called The Culling. Really weird. Again, it's very out there.
Yeah.
But
like Hunger Games or something?
It started out like that.
Where they kill each other?
Not to give anything away, but Bill's character, you find out, is deaf, but I'm not going to tell you how that all happens. But so he couldn't speak, he took the voice, he never moves his mouth, he doesn't talk, because he's kind of a mute, his character. But when you hear him talk, it's based on a video game character he liked in, I think it was like a Street Fighter or something like that.
Street Fighter? Mortal Kombat?
The game was. It was a Mortal Kombat.
What did he look like?
It was. I don't remember all that. But
okay.
It doesn't matter.
I would have known.
But it's funny because
I used to play a lot of those games. That's
what Bill's voice in the movie is. It's based on a video game character he liked as a kid.
Ken or Ryu or...
I don't remember. Okay. But not a lot of people are chiming in about this. So
maybe not many have seen it.
If you want to see something way out there, go to your video store or your online service or the library and check out Boy Kills World. It just came out about 2 years ago.
Okay. And then Justin says, as a former projectionist, I was always asked about Fight Club. Laughy face. And
because it has to do with the movie.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're probably going to wrap this up pretty soon because I need to go crawl back into the sarcophagus and get some rest.
I could talk all night.
I know you could, and you can if you want to. But I'm going to sign out.
Another movie, if Boy Kills World is your sort of like, speed of movies, if you know what I'm talking about, there's another movie I rented or borrowed from the library called Kill. And now it's an Indian movie made in India, so it's got subtitles, but sometimes they speak English. But 95% of it's in.
Is it Bollywood?
No, there's
Bollywood.
There's no singing and dancing.
No singing and dancing.
No way.
Oh, but that's the fun part.
It all takes place on a train, and it's basically a botched robbery. And oh my God, this might be one of the most violent movies I've ever seen, and I'm surprised that it came from India.
Wow.
You would think that it would.
Yeah, because most of the movies are like love stories and singing and dancing. So it's movie, like the total opposite.
There's a love story in it, but again, I mean, your heart just gets I don't know. I was not ready for this movie.
Wow.
But if you have ever, it's called Kill. That's all it's called. Kill. And it came out about a year ago, so it's kind of a newer movie. The best way you could look it up, but again, I'm not really sure. I just saw it in the library and I picked it up.
It might have another title.
No, it's called no, it doesn't.
No, that is the title.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm saying maybe in India it might go under another title.
Well, when you get it from wherever you're getting it, it's called Kill. And
okay.
I think it's called that because I can't tell you why.
Because of all the craziness in it.
There's something else that I thought was kind of I've never seen before in a movie, and if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't want to give anything away.
Well, and you can't go into too many gory details. Grim gory details.
It's too much.
Yeah. Not on YouTube, probably.
But, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and good night, good fright, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Thanks for hanging out with us at the Hangover. See you later, alligators. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, do you not...